this auspicious holiday. I wish them blessings and abundance on this wonderful day. Well, welcome to EBN News at 1. My name is Victor Enzobeli, and these are just some of the news stories that we have prepared for you today. Well, to start off, Dr. Kamau Thuge, the governor of the Central Bank of Kenya, has come forward to support the Finance Act 2023, assuring Kenyans that it will have minimal or no inflationary impact due to the recently implemented taxes. Speaking at the bi-monthly monetary policy press briefing, Thuge emphasized that the National Treasury has implemented measures to offset the effects of taxes on fuel, housing, and the National Health Insurance Fund. These measures include a reduction in railway levy and import taxes.
Any impact that may arise from the VAT on fuel, but we do expect some increase in July. But overall, given the actions that we are now taking, we actually do expect that by August, earliest and latest by September, we expect the overall rate of inflation to come to below the upper range of 7.5 and to be firmly within our target range of between 2.5 and 7.5. Time new information has become available, and indeed inflationary pressures have been rising. Inflationary expectations have increased, and therefore we found it very necessary to relook at the situation using the new data and new information, and that is what informed the Monetary Policy Committee decision to hike the CBR by 100 basis.
Right, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has shifted the blame for the challenges plaguing the milk sector to cartels that operated during the previous government. In order to tackle this issue, Gachagua has outlined a plan to eliminate these cartels and revitalize the new KCC milk processing plant, aiming to enhance profitability for farmers in the sector. The government is committed to modernizing the plant as part of its efforts to uplift the dairy industry.
KCC walijaribu kuua ikakuwa ngumu. Kama wangepatiwa nafasi hii haingekuwa imesimama. Walienda wakanunua factories zingine zote. Hii ikasimama na watu ya Githunguri ya Fresha, watu hapo Meru. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru Mungu ya kwamba serikali mpya imekuja ambaye haitaki hiyo ujinga. Kwa sababu Rais William Ruto na mimi hatuna interest yeyote katika hii sekta ya maziwa. Tunataka board of directors mtakuja na waziri tuketi, tukubaliane. Nitafutie nyinyi soko ya school feeding program, nimstafutie. Ndio. Nitafutie nyinyi soko kwa jeshi, soko kwa polisi, kwa government institutions yote nitafutie nyinyi soko. Safari yetu ni rahisi. Ni kutoka 52 shillings per liter kwa shilingi gapi? 60. Alafu vile waziri amesema tariki 5. Mtu apate haki yake on 5th. Kwa sababu hata wale watu wanatufugia manyumba wanafuga tariki 5.
Right now, the Senate's failure to impeach Siaya Deputy Governor William Oduol has sparked ongoing debate and diverse reactions. Some Kenyans perceive this as an indication of the Kenya Kwanza government's emerging signs of dictatorship as it exploits its majority in both houses of parliament. Leaders associated with Azimio have pledged to prevent this trend from continuing and have expressed their commitment to take action against any rogue Azimio members who collaborate closely with the current government.
Kwa bunge ya Senate wametuletea jamaa wengine hata waelewi kazi ya senator ni nini. Huyu mtu hama senator wa UDA, hata Ruto akapiga simu leo aseme uwa mama yako, anaua tu ati nimepewa amri.
We are the watchmen of the people. We cannot compromise ourselves.
Ni wengi walichukua hiyo nafasi ya kurudisha Oduol kwa kazi, na sisi tunasema ya kwamba Oduor alifaa akwe impeach bila the 11th committee alirecommend kwa sababu alipatikana na hatia.
Imedhihirishwa kwamba hakika hii serikali ya UDA iko na njama mbaya sana ya kudhulumisha macounties.
We'll embark on a mass signature collection to signal the withdrawal of a sovereignty from officials of this illegitimate regime, including Mr. William Ruto and all elected leaders who supported the Finance Bill 2023.
Vizuri kwa maana magovernors wanatumia deputies wakati wanachaguliwa. Baada ya kuchaguliwa wanawaondoa, wanakula peke yao.
Badala ya MCAs kufanya oversight, MCAs wakaenda as far as kuimpeach our deputy governor kwa sababu wamesema ukweli, pesa ya wananchi wanaibwa.
Sisi tunakuja na alternatives, tunakuja na mipango, tunakuja na kizungu, wao wanakuja na numbers. Kwa bunge tukisema wacha tu debate hii mswada, wanasema hapana, sisi tunataka tu tupige kura tuende.
Right, and still something related to that story, Azimio leader Raila Odinga is now calling on Kenyans not to pay taxes to the government in protest of the finance bill that was signed by President William Ruto on Monday. Odinga also declared the start of civil disobedience from the 7th of July 2023 and called off the bipartisan talks between the opposition and the government. He declared the taxes imposed by the government null and void.
Raila's convoy snaked through the roads from the JKIA, headed to the Kamkunji grounds, where Azimio supporters were awaiting their leaders. And here he made the declaration they had all been waiting for.
Must make it clear to Ruto and all those who are nostalgic about the dictatorship of the past that they will pay a heavy price for their unfortunate experiments. You have some bad news from Mr. Ruto. The betrayal in the city has seeped into every village in Kenya. It has united Kenyans better than any government ever would. While the betrayal has shattered our faith in government and parliament, it has strengthened our faith in ourselves and our power. Consequently, Ruto and all those who think like him are going to learn the painful way never to mess with the people's food, fuel, and freedom.
He went on to tear into the finance bill that was signed into law by President William Ruto on Monday, saying by signing the bill, President William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza government had defied the will of the people, and he vowed he was going to stop the government in its tracks.
By Ruto's tyrannical hands, he slighted our pleas and violently dispersed our petitioners. Effective next week, therefore, fuel taxes rises from 8% to 16%. We will pay housing tax whether we need a house or not. The cost of basic goods, which has been weighing Kenyans down, is going up from next week again. At a time like this, silence would be a betrayal to the country. Silence would be treason. We cannot be a nation of people who, having eyes, refuse to see, and having ears, refuse to hear.
The opposition leader called on Kenyans to defy the government by not paying taxes and denying the government the much-needed funds that the president is looking for. Raila told the packed Kamkunji crowd that they had the power to tame the government.
Ourselves is, can a leader mean well for the people than the people do for themselves? The answer is no. Kenyans must not trust that insider smile that Ruto wears. It is betrayer's kiss. If Ruto meant well, he would have listened to the people. He did not, and now we must fight. Fellow Kenyans, fellow Kenyans, comrades, a regime that has so blatantly ignored and betrayed us does not deserve our delegated power.
In a meeting attended by all Azimio leaders, apart from Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, former Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa read the party's resolution in fighting the Kenya Kwanza government.
We declare an end to the bipartisan talks to which we had sent our delegation in the hope that Kenya Kwanza will show interest in resolving the pro-people issues, including the cost of living. It is time for action. Wakati wa kuongea umekwisha. It is time for resolution ya pili. Tuendelee tusiendelee? Resolution ya pili. From today, we embark on a campaign of defiance and civil disobedience, which will take different forms at different times.
Bill that raises taxes on a wide range of items, defying criticism that it will pile more economic hardship on Kenyans. The new tax package was approved by Parliament last week and will double tax on fuel to 16% and introduce a new housing levy, a move expected to have a ripple effect in the country hamstrung by high inflation. Ruto, who took office in September after a bitterly fought election, is seeking to fill the government's depleted coffers and repair a heavily indebted economy inherited from his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta, who splurged on major infrastructure projects.
Right, thank you, Fred, for that report. And only time will tell of how things will unfold on matters related to those measures Azimio leaders want to take from now henceforth. Now, moving on, the bipartisan team representing Kenya Kwanza has issued a warning stating that they will resume the recruitment of independent electoral and boundaries commission commissioners if Azimio fails to rejoin the talks. Kenya Kwanza set a deadline of July 4th for Azimio to return to the negotiating table and put an end to their disruptive tactics. Azimio, on the other hand, has remained firm in the decision not to participate in the talks, opting instead to express their views through public demonstrations and protests.
We should actually reconvene and continue with the talks. The most important issue that we are actually calling for reconvening of the talks is as regards IBC. Do not think there is any other option apart from invoking the Constitution and the law so that the law takes its course. It is properly stipulated under our laws what is supposed to be done when it comes to constituting IBC, the commissioners, and the selection party. Not a knee-jerk reaction to what Azimio is doing or the consultations they are having. Because on their side, that is how they are reacting to the conclusion of the finance bill. On our side, this is how we are reacting to the conclusion of the finance bill.
Inaonekana tukiregesha wanatudharau, tukikaza wanatuomba tuzungumze. We declare an end to the bipartisan talks to which we had sent our delegation in the hope that Kenya Kwanza will show interest in resolving the pro-people issues, including the cost of living.
Commissioners have to be put into office to conduct the by-elections which are looming or which are pending in some constituencies and some wards in the country.
Jambo ni hivi, kama wanataka watu wa kuzungumza nao, kuna mawakili tutatuma huko. Kama wanataka kotini, kuna mawakili tutatuma huko. Lakini kwa wananchi mnataka nini? Ndio nawaambia sasa, mimi nikishindwa kuconvince watu, na unajua kitu ambayo inanishangaza, wanataka ati sisi watu wa Azimio tu convince hao wafanye kitu ambacho ni cha haki. Mimi hamkunichagua niende kufundisha watu.
Right, and now on to other matters. Governor Julius Malombe of Kitui County made an appearance before the Parliamentary Committee responsible for county public investment and special funds. The purpose of his presence was to address inquiries concerning the Kitui Water and Sanitation Company. As per the committee's findings, the company has encountered a significant loss of 52% in its non-revenue water, which was intended for public use. The loss is attributed to illegal water connections and individuals involved in illicit activities in the sector.
The officers within our Ministry of Finance and also Ministry of Water, two chief officers, the chief officer for water and the chief officer responsible for economic planning, and they are now alternate board members there. And as we have said, we are going to ensure that by 30th of September, we may not comply with the WASREP guideline because we are just learning of it now and really dealing with this. You can't do it overnight. It's a process, a month, not even for a year.
But then how are you
because the water which they draw from a singer, we use electricity to pump, and it's very expensive.
But how are you supporting a company that you don't own? And you don't control the board members? How do you support such a company?
Now, the National Heroes Council has embarked on a public participation initiative that will help it formulate a 5-year plan that will guide the implementation and achievement of its mandate and assessment of its performance. Led by Dr. David Mbuthia, Deputy Director in charge of Heroes, Monuments and Research, the council engaged 10 heroes and heroines drawn from North Rift counties to seek their input in the strategy. Mbuthia admitted that Kenya is yet to comprehensively honor her heroes, the scope that selects those with great achievements and contribution. Former 800 women world champion Janet Jepkosgei, who was part of those who attended the event, said quite often the celebration of heroes and heroines is a one-time event, after which most of them disappear into oblivion.
The National Heroes Council is a relatively new institution. It is established by the Kenya Heroes Act of 2014 and it was operationalized in 2020. Now, the role of the council is to identify and honor national heroes. National heroes are people, ordinary people who have done extraordinary things for the sake of their fellow countrymen, and basically these are people who go out of their way in their day-to-day living, and they do things that are for the purpose of benefit of the nation. So, according to the Act, the Kenya Heroes Act of 2014, we have a wide category of heroes. For a very long time in this nation, people have generally thought that heroes are only those who fought for our independence.
Something good will come out. Our heroes have been suffering a lot. We tend to forget most of them, and some of them even die in poverty. And through this meeting, I'm sure we are going to come out with something good for the future and the next generation.
About our meeting today, Dr. will introduce the council, and while we are here, one or two of you may be called to say something about your participation.
Now, a parliamentary committee has raised concerns about the credibility of SICPA, a Swiss multinational security printer that supplies excess duty stamps to the Kenya Revenue Authority. The committee has questioned the integrity of the company. However, SICPA has responded by defending its position, stating that it has not been involved in any corrupt activities. The company emphasizes that it maintains a transparent contractual agreement with the Kenya Revenue Authority.
How can you really convince the public that you are credible enough to be tasked with the responsibility of managing such an essential and critical system in the economy of a country such as Kenya?
This summary penalty order in Switzerland, SICPA has never been banned or delisted anywhere in the world. We are still participating in the tenders in Europe, in the Eurozone, in the US.
The contract is billed in euros, of course, until September 15th, when Kerry requested for Kenya shillings billing. And therefore, the local entity is set up as a cost plus, because you also had the question about repatriation. So we recharge all the costs in Kenya.
What will be the cost of decommissioning vis-a-vis the cost of putting another, almost the same thing? Almost the same.
Cost of decommissioning is on SIGPA side. KRA will not bear any cost. These costs are on SIGPA.
How do you help mitigate Kenya Revenue Authority? Because you seem to be taking money away from the Kenyans as opposed to providing service.
As far as we are concerned and KRA, we were basically following the contracts. So handover, maintenance were basically agreed and specified as per the contract.
If they're not going to renew it and you leave the equipment with them, what is it going to serve? What purpose is that machine going to serve?
That this has been defined by KRA itself in the terms of reference when procuring a highly secure.
The cost of electricity will increase soon after the new financial law of 2023 was approved by President William Ruto. The law increases the tax on petrol from 8 to 16%. In an interview with the Parliamentary Committee on Energy, the Union of Electricity Sellers in the country defended itself about the high price of electricity, saying that the cost is due to the use of diesel to generate electricity.
Because the country is going through a difficult phase. We don't need to accuse each other. But let's have a conversation that will benefit the end user, who is a Kenyan.
The common mwananchi today is paying high electricity, and we need to find a way, we need to find a way to lower that. The first component is a capacity charge, what they call higher charge. It's being hired because of being available. The next one is the running cost, which composed of fuel and energy produced. So those are three components of the charge, and the tables that I gave to this committee in the year 2021 showed exactly those particular components. They are different. They make the total bill.
Over 9,000 students from Narok East constituency are set to benefit from 30 million Kenya shillings bursary through the National Government Constituency Development Fund for the financial year 2022-2023. Narok East Member of Parliament Ken Aramat said the beneficiaries had applied through an online platform, after which they were verified as bona fide members by their local chiefs. The online application, he said, ensures transparency and accountability, as those who apply, regardless of the political background, benefit from the funds. He revealed that the number of applicants has risen from 10,000 in 2013 to 9,000 in the current financial year, praising the residents for embracing education by ensuring all the children are in school.
Today we are having a verification exercise for the bursary of the year 2022-2023. As you all know that the government have actually delayed on disbursement of bursaries or money for CDF during the challenge, because of the challenges that tumekuwa nazo kwa ile regime ingine, lakini leo kwa Narok East tumekuwa na verification exercise for secondary and tertiary colleges, that is college na universities. Both of them we are doing in the same day. We decided to go digital because of two issues. One, we want to go paperless, such that when you get a lot of papers, sometimes it disappears and people wanaumia. So we decided, because everybody has a phone and can apply bursary through the phone, akichunga, akiwa mtaani, akifanya biashara yake, without even going to anybody, that person can access the bursary form with a symbol, hata ile kamulika mwizi, kid or this parent is from his sub-location. Because we have actually identified even the village where that person come from, which sub-location, the location that they come from, even up to the ward level. And the challenge today we have 9,000 applicants. It's the highest number we have ever got. 7,000 for secondary and 2,000 for university.
Right now, the leader of the Coptic Holy Ghost Church in Kisumu, John Pesa, has now denied allegations of detaining the sick in his church, calling the allegations a conspiracy to defame him and believers from attending the church. Speaking in his church yesterday, Pesa insisted that only one person with mental illness was in the church and not 8 people, as reported by the security agencies.
Mtu mmoja tu kutoka Mgori ndio walikuja wakaona kama anafungiwa nyororo kweli, kwa maana yeye ni mtu kali. Watu wapige masasa vile nyinyi unakuja. Mimi nafanya nini? Nakosa nini? Wanasema maneno mingi, lakini Father Pesa ni clean. Ukienda mahali nyinyi unaweza kuintervene ukaona ukweli na ubaya na urongo, lakini nilitetemeka kwa maana maneno ambayo walisungumuza juu yangu mimi, kumbe wanasema Father Pesa ni mbaya kwa president.
Nilikuwa mgonjwa, wakaniombea nikapona. Kwa hivyo mimi maneno ambayo najisikia kwamba sijui watu wanajisema kwamba watu wanajipigwa hapa, sijui wanafanya nini, sijawahi kuona.
Now let's head over to Embu, where a section of leaders in Embu County could benefit from affirmative action funds such as the Weather Fund. The leaders say loans from the funds, if well utilized, will benefit groups and entire communities, especially those in semi-arid regions like Mere.
Kwa njia nzuri, wasipoitumia kwa njia nzuri hawataweza tena kufaidika wakati mwingine zikipeana.
Kila mmoja wetu amefaidika sababu wengine wameanza biashara kidogo kidogo kama ya kuuza matunda, wengine ni wa biashara ya mbuzi, wengine wanauza viatu, na wengine ni wa serious. Na tunaona tunasaidika na hii pesa, maana tukianza tu kuwa na kitu, lakini saa hii at least tumejiinua kiwango. Na tunashukuru,
kuna mtoto anaishi na ulemavu wa mchanyato wa ubongo ama kwa lugha nyingine cerebral palsy, hydrocephalus na epilepsy. Na nilikuwa nimekuja kupata pesa ya Uwezo Fund kama kikundi ya Ishara Vision for People with Disabilities, na hiyo pesa itatusaidia kwa biashara tuweze kukimu mahitaji ya hawa watoto wetu.
Right, and that story wraps it up for us. Thank you very much for making time to join us this afternoon. It has been such a pleasure. For more updates, join Emmanuel Marwa for the 4 p.m. Swahili Bulletin. My name is Victor Enzobeli. Enjoy the rest of your evening and your afternoon.